Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes, though perhaps I should really say Fun with Books for this particular episode because I am taking a look at the basic role-playing game book from Chaosium. Now, rather ironically, I had a copy of this book included in one of the first role-playing games I ever bought, and that is RuneQuest. And this is back in 1980, and this is what we had back then in 1980. Basic role-playing, an introductory guide by Greg Stafford and Lynn Willis. And this booklet, well, it's 16 pages long, it is, and this contained everything you needed to design and run your own role-playing game, as basic as that. But what a phenomenal system, because this is the system that was used for RuneQuest and for wonderful games like Call of Cthulhu and Pendragon, I believe, as well as probably a number of other well-regarded role-playing games. So flash forward now to 1925, no, not 1925, flash forward to 2025, and here I have the new version of basic role-playing, and as you can see, it is a little bit thicker than my old version. Quite remarkable. So, basic role-playing is a system of core rules for tabletop role-playing, and this is for people whether you're a seasoned role-player or whether you're new to the hobby. So don't be put off by the basic title there, because this has everything you need to create your own tabletop role-playing game. So actually, it's far from basic at all. So this is the definitive resource to help you create and sell your very own tabletop role-playing game. And it's a complete royalty-free system reference document. And you can use these rules and focus on creating your world and your own scenarios. So this was introduced 40 years ago. It's the engine that powers games like Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Pendragon, and countless others. Well, without any further ado, let's take a look at what you get in the new basic role-playing universal game engine, and we'll also have a little look at what actually came with the original guide back in 1980. Well, today I'm taking a look at basic role-playing, the universal game engine from Chaosium Inc. This is the latest edition, but before we take a look at this, let's take a trip down memory lane and let's have a look at the original basic role-playing guide. Now this came with the RuneQuest box set back in 1980. Wow, that's quite some time ago. And this was included in the RuneQuest box set as an additional guide there so that you could create your own role-playing games. Let's have a little look at what basic role-playing was originally. So let's dive in here and take a look. Well, we've got an introduction there all about what is a fantasy role-playing game. We have then materials, what you need to be able to play the game, so the actual dice. Here's some character sheets. Look how lovely and basic they are. Then all about character creation here. This is about, so here we have the character creation where we have the strength, constitution, size, intelligence, power, dexterity and charisma for your character. And then we have success or failure here, automatic actions and simple percentile rolls and resistance tables. And then we've got rewards of success, how you gain experience, the cost of failure, taking damage, death and healing, so military skills, armor and shields, weapons, And then here we've got weapons that impale, how we use weapons, combat notes, and then the game sequence there. And right at the back here we have a little solo scenario that I completely forgot was included with the game. And there you have it. That's the back there with some useful information and an example of a character. So that is 16 pages of role-playing guide, which at the time was, I thought, fantastic. Now flash forward to 2025 and this has become this. Oh my goodness, what a difference a day makes, or in this case, what a difference numerous years make. Look, before and after. Look at that, before, after, before, after. Incredible. Well, let's take a look at what we've got in this basic role-playing Universal Game Engine book, which is absolutely fantastic, by the way. Really is marvellous, wonderful quality, as I expect from Chaosium, because they do make some absolutely fantastic role-playing games. So here we have a table of contents and the introduction there, the basics of role-playing. And as I may have mentioned, basic role-playing system is used by games like RuneQuest and Call of Cthulhu, two of the finest role-playing games you can get, in my humble opinion. So this just goes through all the basics. Oh, there's Pendragon. That's just come out recently, and that looks really fantastic too. So you've got some terms used in role-playing, and we've got the materials that we need, and here are the dice, about miniatures, and now this is all about characters and creating characters. All about the characteristics there. And now here is a character sheet. Now look at that. Let's compare that with that. Or rather just with that. Oh my goodness. Now as you can see with this character sheet here, the basic role-playing game system is anything but basic. It is in fact one of the best role-playing game systems ever. Again, in my humble opinion, but I grew up on RuneQuest and on Call of Cthulhu, so I guess I may be a little bit biased, but this system has the best skills, the best combat system. It just is absolutely superb. When you are fighting against creatures, you really feel as if you are, because it's not just roll the dice, have you hit or not, you've hit, or roll the dice, you've done 7 points of damage. This system uses hit locations, and armor is a real factor in that. So you could be fighting, you could hit somebody in the left arm, and it depends how much armor they've got there, that then the damage could go through. But of course they could have a shield and could block or parry your blow. This adds such a level of realism while still keeping the game running smoothly. It is fantastic. So this is all about character generation. And now we come to the skill categories. And we've got some optional things here. Professions. Because this is a generic system, so you could use this to create Wild West games. It doesn't have to be fantasy games, science fiction games, games set in the modern day, games set in the past. Whatever you can think of, you can create a role-playing game using this wonderful system. all about skills here. Skills listed by category. Alphabetical skill list, so you'll have things like first aid, brawl, climb, disguise, dodge, drive, gamble, grapple, hide, spot, stealth. Numerous skills there, numerous skills. And then everything about each individual skill. And then we get to powers here where we have magic, mutation, psychic abilities, sorcery, superpowers. So you could create a superhero game on all about these different things. Love these books. They've got a little ribbon there. Quite a lot of information around spells and powers. I'm skipping through quite a few pages here. So an awful lot of information there. And we're on page 109 at the moment compared to the original 16 pages. Now this is all about the game system. All about performing your various actions with your skills or fighting, or if you're trying to talk your way out of something, or you've got this resistance system here which you compare one against another. So in this example here you could have somebody doing a bit of a strength test there. So you would match one person's strengths with the other person's. All about time and movement, encumbrance, and about improving your characters. And now the section around combat, which always is my favourite section in a role-playing game, especially new ones that I read, because I'm always fascinated by how they would cover the way combat works. So lots of information there. And now some spot rules. So this is all about stuff like acid, armor damage, chases, closing, darkness, vacuums, fire and heat, poison, disengaging, you name it, it's all covered here. Again, I'll flip through a few of these and then we're on to equipment and money. All the various weapons, from grenade launchers to shuriken. So historical melee weapons, modern missile weapons, advanced melee weapons, advanced missile weapons, primitive armor, ancient and medieval armor, modern armor. This really is such a fantastic book. All about vehicles, robots, AI. And then all about games mastering, how you actually perform as a GM. So lots of useful information and help there. Then we have information about making settings, where you're going to set your role-playing game. And then the creatures that you could encounter. So a load of example creatures there. And then we have the appendices then. And a really lovely index, and then some blank character sheets at the back there for you to use to create your own characters. There's a vehicle sheet and a mount sheet there. So non-playing characters for the GM. So there you have it. 256 pages up to the end of the index there. Incredible. What an absolutely fantastic book this is. If you are interested in role-playing games, then this one is definitely worth picking up, especially if you're interested in creating your own role-playing game, or indeed if you fancied using any aspects of this basic role-playing universal game engine in your role-playing games that you currently use. Because of course using various different mechanics can lead to a different or perhaps better gaming experience. So there you have it, that's basic role-playing. Well, I'm sure you will agree that a lot has changed, hasn't it, over the years. This book is chock full of everything you need to design your own role-playing game and create your own worlds and run your own adventures with your friends. It's your basic role-playing universal game engine, and boy, does it do what it says it does on the tin. This really is very worthwhile checking out if you are interested in role-playing games, of course. I would have to give this a very big Fun with Boxes thumbs up indeed. Well, I do hope you enjoyed taking a look at this with me. If you did, please consider hitting the old like button and also hit that subscribe button, because that would be truly fantastic of you, because it will help to grow the channel. And in the meantime, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please do take care, and bye for now.